So, folks, thank you for coming to the session today. I guess a little bit different than the other ones. Like I said, we're happy to have Dominic Samuel today from Forge FC joining us. Welcome, Dom.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
I wanted to keep this as informal as possible, and just kind of keep it to a nice question and answer, or if there's anything that you want to tell us, or you want to or you think that's helpful for the boys, that would be great. So just to give you a bit of a background, these guys are the Burlington U15 OPDL team, and as you know, OPDL is supposed to be the highest league in Ontario. So in theory, they're competing. They're up there in terms of youth competition. They're up there with the top players in Ontario. So
you guys just compete in Ontario, and you go where? Like, where's like the furthest you guys gone? Like,
so mostly in terms of our league, we're anywhere from Ottawa to Windsor.
Yeah.
Depending on where it is, that's where we've got our games.
Yeah, nice. That's nice.
So, Dom, I gave the guys a little bit of a background on yourself, and I did ask them to come up with questions for you. But at the same time, tell us a little bit about your story. Obviously, right now you're living the dream. Playing professionally, which I'm sure we'll find out that that's what you wanted to do all along. But give us a little bit of a background and kind of how you came about and got in this position.
Yeah, I guess I'll start from when I started playing. Probably like 5 years old or something like that. I just got to. My mother actually wanted me to play soccer because she enjoyed watching the game and playing the game as a kid. So she got me into house league and the lower leagues and stuff, just having fun and playing as much as I can. I did also play basketball, and I was at a very high competitive level there. But then there came a point where after I was playing with East York, the team that I actually grew up playing with, once I got to a point, one of my coaches was actually Coach Bob, he coached. It was his uncle who I was playing for, and he was like, "Look, like you're at high level now, and there's no point in you being here." So, and Bob had started Sigma in 05, 06. And so at this point it was like 07. And he was like, "Yo, you need to go and actually train in a professional environment, get some good, decent competition so that you can progress and make it to where I am now, or even further." So at about 07, I started playing for Sigma, training, playing, doing everything I could with them. That was kind of tough because I'm from Scarborough, and Sigma is based out of Mississauga, so I had to travel from Scarborough to Mississauga every other day. I didn't have a car. I didn't drive. My mother didn't have a car. She doesn't drive, so I had to take the bus 2 hours west and then 2 hours back east to, just to play soccer for an hour and a half. But, doing that, it kind of made me stronger. It made me who I am today. To just kind of persevere, and it kind of shows my dedication to doing what I love. And and actually, like, playing for Sigma brought me the opportunities to get a scholarship to go to college. So from there, I got a full scholarship to Southern New Hampshire University. My second year there, I won a national championship, which was pretty awesome. It's an incredible experience. We went 23 1-1 that season, which is outrageous, actually. And the one game we lost was the first game of the season, and it was at a conference game on like an offside goal. And it just kind of, it made us mad, and so we were like, all right, like, we're not losing another game after that. And we didn't. Every single game after that, went to the playoffs, won the conference, went to the tournament, and won everything after that. And, that was an incredible experience. In my 4 years of college, I won 4 conference titles, a national championship, and 2 regional titles. So did pretty well over there. Kind of cleaned up. So I probably could be one of the most decorated athletes at that school to date. So I'm just kind of hoping I can hold on to that as long as possible. But yeah, and so because I did, well there, just talking to Bob, talking to my coaches at school, they were kind of asking me, okay, like, all right, you've done, 4 years of soccer in college, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to play professional soccer, or are you done, kind of thing? And I was like, no, I need to play pro. I've been wanting to play soccer for my entire life. Like, professional is where I want to be, what I want to do for as long as I possibly can. And so they said, all right, as long as you're serious, then, we'll help you out. We'll get you the right people, or schools, blah, blah, blah. And so I ended up getting drafted that year, in my senior year, to the New England Revs, which was pretty cool, actually. At that point, I had to leave college early, just a semester early, to go to preseason, which started in January. So I went there. I did that. Unfortunately, just the timing wasn't right, I guess, for me at that point for that team. But I was able to, complete the preseason, and then they let me go. So I was able to get that, like, really, like, MLS professional experience there. From there, I had a trial in Portland. And then after that, I went to Rochester, who are in the USL. And so that's where I signed my first professional contract. Played full season there. Played every game except for, it was 2 games. One of them, I think both of them, I was injured. Other than that, I started probably about 70% of the games, and then after my injury is when I had to kind of work my way back into the lineup. But I would close out games and do that. Unfortunately, they didn't re-sign me after that first year, and then I had to take. I had some, like, family issues and stuff like that, so I had to take a year or 2 off, just to work and to save up money and stuff like that, because it was just my mother and I. While I was doing that, I was still playing with Sigma, because the good thing about that club is that once you kind of make it out of that system, you're allowed to come back as an alumni, and you can train. You can play in League One if like you're really serious about it, and they encourage you to do so just so that you stay fit, stay healthy, get your touches on the ball, stuff like that, and you stay in a professional environment, get good training every day. And it just helps. It helps with your character, and it helps, build relationships and contacts and all that other stuff. Some of my best friends I met from there, which is good. So yeah, I was playing with Sigma for those 2 years while the CPL was getting formed. In that, so not 2019, but 2018. In that season, Bob approached me and was like, look, the CPL is getting together. It's going to happen next year, and I want you to be part of like my, core group. Are you serious? Yeah. So after that, I was just kind of waiting to see what happened. And fortunately for me, it did. So once it did, I got the phone call, signed my contract, and then now I'm playing for just team. The good thing about that is like, I don't have to go overseas or to America to play. I can literally play in my backyard, in front of my friends, in front of my family, and that's, for me, that's something that I've always wanted to do. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and how I became who I am.
So I'll bring you back a little bit to those bus rides, going back and forth from Scarborough to Mississauga. Mm-hmm. What I think you might have been a little bit younger than the guys now, but around the same age. So what they're getting to the point where there's other factors involved, right? It's not just soccer all the time. School is starting to come in. Social life, all that stuff. What kept you, with your eye on the prize? What got you going to do those 2-hour trips? Because it's easy to, just say, screw it, like, I'm just going to hang out.
Yeah, no, I understand. Just for me, playing soccer was like a getaway. It was one of those like, I have to do school. I got to do this. I got to do that. But soccer was the one thing that like I can do and never be upset. I would never be upset. I would never say no. Look, I don't want to play today. I would always want to do it. So making those 2-hour bus trips just to like step on the field and kick a ball around with my friends for an hour and a half was like the highlight of my day, the highlight of my week. Let's say if I had a bad week, I'd want to go kick a ball. I'd want to go play like 5v5 with some of my friends, stuff like that. It was more of a motivation than anything. And so like, I understand that like my mom, funny enough, like my mom used to threaten me and say like, look, like, if you don't do your schoolwork, then you go to practice. Right? Like, right. And that would scare me. That would scare me. Like, I'd want to go to practice and go play, but she'd be like, well, you didn't get this done, so you can't go, kind of thing. And so that's what kind of motivated me to get my schoolwork done, to do what I needed to do, to keep me on the right path, and to stay serious and actually go through with everything I needed to.
Excellent. And I'll ask you one more question before I open it up to the team. In terms of training, what kind of training were you doing outside of the regularly scheduled practices that you had with Sigma?
So outside of Sigma, I would, go to the park and just kind of do anything that I could. A lot of my friends, like in the area that I grew up, a lot of my friends like to play. So there was at my middle school, there was kind of like a cage. There was a cage supposed to be a tennis court, supposed to, but that got ruined really quick. And we kind of turned it into our own little futsal area. So I would go there a lot of the times and just kind of kick around and, make up my own drills just to kind of practice and do the things that Bob and everybody else at Sigma would teach me. I would practice those outside of Sigma so that once I got there, everything was easier. Everything was a lot easier for me to do. And, and Bob and Sigma, like, they hold a very high standard. So I wanted to make sure, like, I was up there and to keep up while I was there. So, yeah.
Good. No, that's great. I'm sure it didn't really feel like training. It was when you were just playing, right? Unless, yeah. Okay. Good. Guys, any questions for Dom?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Mateo.
When you went to university in the States, was the competition different from in Canada?
Yeah, I would say it is. Depending on where you are and like who your coaches and stuff like that. Like in Canada, there's a lot more. For me, it was a lot more structured. But like once you got to the U.S., like everything competition-wise, like everybody was just big, fit, and then they love to run. They just love to run and run and run. And so, I had to deal with, big, tall, 6'5" forwards who were like 18 years old, 19 years old. And like, it was kind of tough at first, but you kind of get used to it. But once you do get used to the competition over there, like everything is a lot easier. But yeah, I'd say it was different.
Okay.
Who's up?
Any questions?
Yeah, I do. So actually, I met you at the 3v3 street camp, and like I was a scorekeeper, and you were like the ref of the game.
Say that one more time.
This winter, like there was this 3v3 street ball camp, and actually, and I was the scorekeeper, for the games, and you were the ref.
What's your name again?
Eric.
You had the broken foot.
Yeah, I had the crutches.
Oh man! Oh. Is that off now? Are you okay?
It's getting better, yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Ah, what a small world. Small world. Yeah. No, good. As long as you're like, are you doing everything you can to like get better?
Yeah.
Good. Nah, keep at it, man. I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's worth it, guys. I promise you. And you guys like hoping to go to university in the States, get a scholarship, or do anything like that?
Yeah.
And then I had a question as well.
Yeah, so
Like I know that you've been playing right back, and I play right back too. And I was wondering what you think is like the most important quality for one.
for a right back,
Yeah.
well, first off, defending. 1v1 defending is probably the most important. A lot of people tell me just to protect your corner. And you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like always protect your corner. Don't let anything by you, over your head. No crosses, nothing like that. Like as long as you defend well, everything going forward it'll be easy for you. And so like that's what I kind of, I'm not a natural right back, because I grew up playing center back for my entire life, and then once I got to Sigma, it was actually kind of funny because I just assumed I was going to play center back for the entire time, and then one day Coach Bob put me at right back or something. I was like, "Are you sure? Like, is that really what you want to do right now?" And he was like, "Yeah, like you're good enough. You can do it. Blah, and he believed in me." And so I did the job. And so now that I'm at this level, he knows what I'm capable of and what I can do, and he knows I'm a good defender. And so that's basically like what he wanted me to do in that position, is just to defend well, play simple, and he knows like I can get forward and join the attack and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say defending is probably like your most, has to be your best quality, and then obviously playing simple once you win it.
Okay, thanks.
Protect your corner. You know what I mean?
I have a question.
Mm.
So I know you're a defender and all, and I'm a forward. What qualities of a forward do you fear the most, if that makes sense?
Do I fear the most? I don't wanna sound conceited or anything, but I don't fear anything or anybody.
Or what would you not want to be up against? Like, what qualities do you think is the easiest to get past a defender, if that makes sense?
Probably positional qualities. So I know that there's a lot of forwards out there that are big, strong, can hold up the ball and can do all that stuff. They have great skill on the ball. But some of the best forwards that I've played against are smart, are very, very, very smart. They use their head the most. And so instead of actually trying to let's say post up on a center back, you get the ball, they would put themselves in a position that makes the defender think.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being in the line of sight of the defender, he would kind of hide behind his shoulder or something.
Okay.
So that, me, as a center back, as a defender, you have to check your shoulder as much as possible.
Yeah.
And so, for me to do this, check my shoulder all the time is very annoying as a defender.
Yeah.
And so, forwards would do that. They would sit on my right shoulder, make me do this so that I have to pay attention to them, but I'd also have to pay attention to what's going on ahead of me.
Yeah.
And then they would constantly move. And so that I would either get bored of, constantly checking my shoulder. Then maybe one player won't check my shoulder, and I think he's on my left, and so I look here, and he's actually on my right shoulder making a run, and the ball is getting played through. So yeah, I would say, stuff that's positional, just kind of using your brain to kind of get into the defender's head and make it annoying for him the entire game, instead of just creating that physical 1v1 battle all the time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yep.
I'm just curious, what was it like winning the inaugural season in the CPL?
Words can't describe how that felt. I just kind of, like I said before, like you always hope to play in your backyard and to play in front of your friends and family and whatnot. And just to, be able to be that successful in the first year of, the CPL and whatnot was just incredible. So, yeah, no, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Okay.
And, it's not every day that you kind of, that you win a championship, especially like a professional title too. So like I have that under my belt, and you kind of hope to create history, and we did. So I'll forever be, in the books as the first winner of the CPL. You guys have any more questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you do that helps you prepare mentally and physically before a game? Like,
lots of this. Making sure that you have a decent meal, the night prior to the game, and just always trying to prepare yourself like that you're going into battle. Play every game like it's your last kind of thing. So your coach, like me for example, like Bob puts us in a position that and he helps us prepare very well for the opponent that we're going to play. And he does it game by game. It's not like we know. Let's say like we know we're going to play Calgary in 2 weeks, but we're playing Pacific first. Like we focus on Pacific, and he focuses on your role for that game, and so that you have that in your mind that, okay, like this is my job, this is what I have to do, and this is what I have to do to be successful. And so you just kind of remind yourself this is what you have to do. You have to do this and do it well, and stay consistent, and just think about it a lot. And then once you do, then you start. It becomes easier, and then music, stuff like that, to just psych you up so that you're ready to go. So that's usually what I do before games. I kind of have a routine. Before, I'm not sure if you guys want to hear that. Yeah. Usually Any more questions?
I'll take one. So we actually heard. I heard Coach Bob speak maybe about 2 months ago at the summit, and he kind of talked from his perspective what the biggest difference was between college or League One and the Canadian Premier League. So what about for you as a player? Like, what was the biggest change or biggest thing you had to really adjust to, going from League One or even college to professional play?
Consistency and just kind of staying sharp or being sharp. Speed of play is incredibly fast. So being able to, like in college, you can get away with certain things that you can't get away with being a professional. You know what I mean? Like knowing, like for example, like knowing where you want to play, like 5 seconds before you actually even get the ball, kind of thing. Knowing, what you need to do, possibly like predicting what's going to happen 2 plays from now if somebody were to like play the ball to a kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like there's everything kind of sped up by like 1,000, and just using this as much as possible. So yeah, that was definitely a big change, and I had to adjust to that a lot. And like I said, like going to the New England Reds, like getting that kind of professional experience, and then going to Portland and stuff like that, like, where you're training with MLS teams and some of the top guys in the MLS. Some of them even come from like overseas and have played in La Liga, and or with or against some of the best players in the world, and you see how fast they are, you see how passionate they are, and everything is kind of it's up there. So that was probably like the biggest thing I had to adjust to, and to kind of get used to while I was doing that. So, yeah.
Was there, when you were playing youth, like when you were at the youth level, and you were playing within your league or even within your team, did you have any teammates that you could look at and say, hey, you know what, this guy's going to make it pro, based on how they acted, how they played, and then did they end up making it or did they not, and why do you think that was?
And you're talking like before Sigma?
Before or even during Sigma, like just players that you'd say, there's always that one person on the team that you say, oh, they're the best ones, they're gonna make it, and sometimes that's not the case for whatever reason, right? So
there was definitely one guy that I can think of right now. Prior to Sigma, when I was playing with East York, his name was Yorgo Nika, and just kind of we went to school together at Westwood, so we both played on the soccer team there. But once he got there, we kind of realized that we want to take it as serious as possible. We never want to lose. We always want to win. And you can just see that he would get frustrated if things didn't go well, and he would look to fix it as quick as possible. Practice, we'd have practice, let's say at like 6 o'clock, he would be there 5:15 doing his own thing, working on his craft, and then we would do training, and then he would let the last to leave because he would do a little bit extra after training. So would I. And so you could just tell that like he was really passionate about things. And sure enough, like we both went our separate ways, to college and stuff like that. And he ended up going to Germany. We went to Germany and played in the 3rd division. I believe it was like either the 2nd or 3rd division. For about like two years or something like that, and he did very well. He went to like Austria or something, and then but yeah, he was definitely one of the guys that I thought would make it. And then obviously once I got to Sigma, there were plenty of guys that I played with, that I played against, because all of us basically had the same mentality at Sigma. Like once you're there, it's like, okay, you're there to train to be a professional. And so everybody kind of had that mentality in that one thing in mind. Like for example, like Kyle Becker, watching him train, watching him play was incredible. And you can see like he's my captain now. He's been all over the place. He has traveled Ajax. Went back. He's got drafted TFC. Did that and went to USL. Blah. Kyle Laren, Richie, Chris Nanko. All those guys like I played with and played alongside. Everybody kind of had one thing in mind. It's like, yo, you need to go to be a pro. So, yeah.
Anyone else have any questions? Now's your chance.
Can you ask a second question?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was wondering, what's the biggest thing that like helped you to becoming a pro?
Biggest thing that helped me become a pro? Support. Definitely the support from my friends and family. There's always so much that you can do for yourself to get you to where you are. Be passionate and just kind of work towards your goal. But it's really nice to have the support from your friends and family. Those are the guys that are looking out for you the most and that want to see you succeed. So for me, I would say my friends and family that like really helped me, that pushed me to want to get better, to want to do, big things, and to make it to where I am today. So yeah, definitely that.
Okay, thanks.
Are there any other questions?
What are do you guys have any diets or any foods that you need to consume a lot, more than other ones, or before a game, for example, the night before?
Not necessarily. Obviously, you don't want to be eating McDonald's or fast stuff like that, right? You want to put things in your body that will help give you the most energy and make you feel, at your best, and that you can play at your top fitness. So, for me, things like pasta, stuff like that is, usually what I try to eat before games. Things that, aren't too bad for you. Obviously, I'm a big dessert guy, very big dessert guy. So, I kind of cheat every now and then. I gotta have my piece of cake or a little chocolate bar or something like that. I try not to do it often, and I just eat things that will help stay fit and feel happy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you can do that, that'll definitely help.
Okay.
Anyone else, guys?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Marcus.
What have you been doing to stay in shape over quarantine?
So we, Coach Bob and the other coaching staff have put together a program for us to do week in, week out. So, for example, yesterday we wake up, we warm up, and then we do a 5K. we'll have to run 5K and then come back and do a little bit of strength with our strength and conditioning coach over Zoom.
Yeah.
So we've been doing that for the past. Been in this for like a month and a couple weeks or so, and we do that every day. We'll have Sundays, possibly Wednesdays off. So we'll try and do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
Like, normally, like, if we don't have anything to do, let's say like on Wednesday, maybe some of us will just a little jog and just gonna stretch and take care of our bodies. Cause, that's the most important thing. And just kind of prepare for what we have to do for the rest of the week.
What have you been doing, like, technically?
Technically, no, that's what I missed. So with the running and the strength stuff, we also have, they sent us a couple drills for us to do with the ball. So it's not only just running 5K and then push-ups and sit-ups. Wherever we can find, it just kind of comes a lot of the clothes and stuff like that. Wherever we can find like a patch of grass or something like that, where we can work on our touch, work on dribbling and stuff like that. As so whether it's like 5-cone drill or just did any of you know about the Complete 90? Where Frano, remember him at all? He played for Sigma, and then he also played for Forge last year.
Number 8.
Yeah, Frano. He's got this kind of program that he created called the Complete 90. I'm sure most of you have Instagram or something like that. If you look it up, you'll find that there's a lot of things that you can do on there. He'll tell you, the Complete. Look that up. So he's got all these types of drills that you can kind of work on your touch, work on, skill moves, or just the basics, inside cuts, outside cuts, stuff like that. So we do all types of things technically just to stay sharp as much as we possibly can. Like even if like now, something like we have a ball on my feet at all times. Just kind of working on things. Yeah.
Great. Anyone else? Last call.
These are good questions, guys. Keep them coming.
How did you deal with adversity? Right, like even as a younger adult, kind of moving away from home, doing all that, and like you said, it sounded like you played quite a lot in Rochester, and then they cut you at the end of the season. How do you deal with that as a young player?
In terms of like moving away from home, that was like one thing I really wanted to do. You get I'm sure you'll get to a certain age where you're like, oh, I don't want to be on my own. I want to be independent, and you go to college. It's unbelievable. Yeah, like the last 4 years of life. But I've always wanted to do that, just see how it would be. It wasn't too bad. Obviously, I miss being home. I miss my parents, stuff like that. When it comes to like playing so much with Rochester and then kind of getting let go. Of course, I was upset and I was angry about it. But then, you kind of have to move on and forget about it. And just know that you can work, you continue to work to get something else. And to remember not to give up. Because that would just, all your hard work that you put in prior to getting there, and then, just for you to go, okay, I'm done. For me, like, that wasn't what I had. Like, wasn't how I was raised, you always want to, let's say, end your career on a high note. And so, once I got to Rochester, like I wanted to get something else right away, so I kind of went right back to work. As soon as I left there, I came back, went right back to Sigma, and started training, just so that I can obviously get the opportunity to now play in the CPL.
Great. Well, I think that's about it. Unless someone else has any other questions. Okay.
I have a question. You mentioned that you played basketball at a high level when you were younger. At what point did you just kind of focus just on soccer and let basketball go?
That was my second year after sophomore year in high school was where I had to draw the line because one, I was getting pressured by Bob actually to say, look, we're gonna be traveling and we're gonna be doing this, and you're gonna want to focus on one sport and doing one thing. So at that point, and I was a better soccer player than I was a basketball player anyway. So at that point, I was like, all right, I need to drop playing basketball and focus, keep my main focus on soccer. But don't get me wrong, I still love basketball. I play with try and hoop every now and then with my boys when I can.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I have a question. When you were a youth player playing for Sigma, did you travel overseas a lot?
Not a lot. When you get to Sigma, you get to a certain point on a team where they do an annual trip to Holland. So that's where I went. So we went to Holland for 2 weeks, and we played a couple of friendlies. We played against Ajax. We played against who else did we play against? Honestly, I probably couldn't pronounce the name. But we played a couple friendlies over there. Like I said, we were there for 2 weeks traveling and training and getting the experience of that. And obviously, like seeing where professionals play, kind of like the lifestyle that they live. And so that obviously like motivated us to kind of want to get over there or to become professional to live that lifestyle. So we only did that about once. And then every year they do this Sigma camp. If you guys know about that, where the coaches come down here and they coach you, and then they find that you're good enough and you get the opportunity to go over there and play, which is what there's like Chris, Tyler, Al Becker, like Richie, like those guys got the opportunity to go. Yeah.
Also, when you went to Holland, how was the competition there compared to like here?
Oh, it's totally different. It was totally different. Everything, those guys are like here. Soccer is, it's not necessarily the main priority, I guess, for little kids. You know what I mean? For you guys, like you have soccer. You also have school, life, all this other stuff. For them, like they eat, breathe, sleep, soccer. So once we got on the pitch, like those guys played, even if they were like 15, they played like they were 25, 28, and their skill level was unbelievable for the age. So it was obviously tough for us, but I guess you can say like we were kind of used to it because we trained like professionals at Sigma. So we went down there with like a good mindset and a good skill level, so that's what helped us compete. But the competition over there is ridiculous. It's crazy.
Okay, great. Well, we're not going to keep you much longer, Dom. We do very much appreciate this. I think I think it's been great for everyone involved. On behalf of Burlington Soccer and our team, we'd like to thank you for this. There's a reason why Forge are champions, and working within the community is a part of that, and building that championship mentality, and nurturing more champions as they grow. So we do appreciate you guys doing this and giving up some time out of your life to come out and do this for us.
Yeah.
And we're gonna definitely, once you're back in action, we're gonna book a game over at Tim Hortons Field to come and watch and support you and the rest of the team.
For sure. Look forward to being back on the field as soon as possible. And I love seeing you guys out there because it kind of shows your passion for the game and to be able to support like us is a wonderful feeling. So and all we want to do is see you guys kind of make your way up to where we are. Yeah. Good. It's definitely good.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, and hopefully we see you back on the field soon.
Yeah. No problem, guys. No problem. And guys, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter, anything. If you have any other questions or you want some advice, stuff like that, probably reach out to some of the other guys too. Like, you know, so we have to like answer some of your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.